Hello everyone, odedex here, welcome to episode 162 of S02 Let's Play. So as you can see, I'm still here dealing with my auto-crafting of buildcraft logic gates. Off screen I went ahead and created a bunch more of the golden end gates. I got at the moment 22 of them. Actually need a little bit more. Let's go ahead and craft some more while I'll show you a couple of other things. Let's go ahead and create like 20 more of them. It's a long process, so there is no trouble doing that. Okay, so in case you missed the previous episode, I went through the process of setting up the system that in the near future, hopefully in this very episode, will control on how exactly do I create energy for the entire system. And that's those not cobblestone, but gravel pipes with all those logic gates. Each logic gate is checking for the same thing. It's checking whether or not the adjacent energy storage, which is specifically those redstone energy cells, have room for energy. If that's true, they send a true signal for the red pipe signal, the red pipe wire. And since all of those wires are all connected on the same network with all the different gates, pretty much whenever enough one of those redstone energy cells to miss some energy or to have some energy available to enter it, the signal will turn on, and I'm going to use that to my advantage. Now, I'm still going to have to wait until some more gates are completed. It's a process that's taking kind of a long time, so I'm going to wait until it finishes. Now, in the meantime, there are a couple of things that I wanted to do. I actually received a private message for someone who was kind of worried that some of my machines or systems may be broken. And by the way, I am still using ICBs. I think I can move to glacial bees. Yeah, the glacial bees should be fully inoculated with all the good stuff, so I can probably use them. Let's make sure. If you're not sure what I'm doing here, glacial queens are a breed that I've mutated from an icy queen and a wintry bee to create pretty much the glacial queen, which basically creates ice shards a lot faster by default. That's simply how the genes they're working. Anyway, as I was starting to say, I actually received a private message for someone who was worried that some of my machines may be broken. He specifically told me, and I'm sorry I forgot your name, I'm terribly sorry, but you are actually quite helpful. He told me basically two things. The first thing he told me was that my current HV solar placement system will get broken the moment I get to the second line. And looking further into it, I understand why. So at the moment, this line of HV solar arrays start building up in this direction. The moment I get 10, which I think actually the next number, what's going to happen, the array will go one step backwards and then go start to the left. Now the problem is, at the moment, at the current stage of things, there is no problem whatsoever, but the problem will happen the moment I go back to the second line, start moving to this direction. At some point, an HV solar array will be on this block right here, will be like in this empty block right next to the tube. Now, HV solar arrays have an input to place something in them. To be honest, I have no clue what. I think batteries, you can pretty much like use the arrays to directly charge up batteries or crystals. But the problem is that the tube will not recognize it. I'm sorry, it will recognize it as an available inventory space, and instead of potentially going to the item detector, there is a 50-50% chance of it going to the solar array. As a result, it's not going to break, but it's going to start wasting solar arrays instead of directly placing them. Like for every solar array that I'm generating, there is a chance that it's actually not going to be placed, which is extremely stupid when you think about it. Now, the actual solution is extremely simple to do, and I'm going to do it just right away. And to do that, all I'm going to need is a froob. Just up type froob. I'm going to need a tube, some sort of a frame tube. I'm going to go for a normal one, no need for a redstone one, and a cover. I'm going to go for a green cover. And very simply, using a frame tube instead of a normal tube, I can apply the frame cover and pretty much isolate that tube network from any potential connection, any inventory connection from that side. So that right now is completely isolated from every potential inventory that's going to come right here. And that's the problem solved. So thank you for telling me that. Just a quick thing before I continue on, I can actually get an HV solar array. So let's break those 7 medium voltages. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and get one of those lower voltages one, dump them into the system, and force an update like this, and one of those solar arrays should be placed. There we go. And the next step, it should go backwards instead of continue in the same direction. I'm pretty sure, I think. Anyway, that's that. The other thing he told me, and that's kind of where I'm not sure what's going on, he told me that my lava production system might be broken, and either I misunderstood the message or I don't know what, but I was looking at it and nothing seems broken. I'm generating lava, I'm using lava all over the place. What you might be referring to is the fact that the core is not mining, but that's by design, because I'm bringing all my netherrack into here instead of mining it here. This core is stopped mining because I have so much of it available. So that's pretty much it. If that's what you were meaning, then that's that. If not, then I'm sorry, I didn't really understand what's broken. Everything seems to be doing fine. Okay, so let's get started. Oh, and one more thing actually. This is kind of a big problem I noticed on my own, which will require some managing. But I actually noticed that my ender chest, my white ender chest, stopped generating stuff. I actually went to my quarry, and there is a big problem there. I'm not going to go there right now because it actually takes quite some time to get to the quarry itself. But yeah, it's gonna need some taking care of. At the moment it's broken. I have 0 resource generation, but I'm not going to take care of that now because it's kind of a big thing. And first I want to finish up setting up this thing. Okay, so how many gates I need? How many gates do I need? I need a gate for every engine. So 8 times 4, I need 32 gates. I have 30 on me at the moment. And if I open this, okay, I've got enough gates. So 32 gates, and I'm gonna need 37 cobblestone structure pipes. Will not be enough. I need more. Let's get just a little bit more of them. They're simply not going to be enough. I'm gonna need, I think, 2 more sets, like 16 more. So this amount, and some glass. 2 pieces of glass. 1, 2. Okay, and with that I can create a little bit more of those gravel pipes. I said it in the previous episode, gravel pipes are a very simple pipe. You cannot move anything between them. They're only meant to actually let you have logic gates without any other pipe, because they're so cheap to make. They only require gravel, cobblestone, and glass. Okay, so here is the plan. Let's get rid of all the redstone signaling, so all the yellow wire goes away. I'm gonna break it with my hand instead of using my pickaxe, because I don't want to accidentally break an engine, which already has some fuel in it. Feels kind of wasteful, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so all the redstone signal goes away. I also took away the lever that I had right here. Basically, it's no longer gonna rely on those manual redstone signals. The next thing I'm going to do is actually overhaul the way this works. So a couple of changes. The first change, since now I should have a proper production of ice shards and crushed ice, I'm going to start using that instead of water. So the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to pretty much introduce a new type of color. And I'm going to let's use light blue. I don't think I've used light blue before. And I'm actually going to create 3. You're about to understand why. As always, I'm going to need some liquid ducts and some redstone torches. And the way it's going to work, first I'm going to actually create it, 3 of them. And the way I'm going to use it is, of course, first I'm going to start collecting it. So let's place the tank right here, make this go away, change this into a block, a redstone torch, and extract from here. So I now have crushed ice in an ender tank, which I can use. And I created 3 because originally I did this kind of a small contraption here where I did kind of use 1 ender tank for each line of liquid. I kind of changed my mind. This is kind of stupid. Let's just use 2 ender tanks of each. So I'm breaking this away, and I'm actually going to head and create another yellow one. So pretty much every liquid duct line will have its own tank. Instead of having one tank for like everything, there will be two tanks pretty much. A small and simple change, but I don't know, it just looks a little bit nicer, a little bit more convenient. Now, for the water change, at the moment all the tanks have water inside them, that's fine. Simply the only thing that's going to be different is the moment the water runs out, the crushed ice will be taking over, hopefully, without any too much trouble. Really, that shouldn't be any problem with that. I really hope that's indeed the case, but I don't really know. But again, shouldn't be any trouble. So crushed ice goes here and here. Change the mode to push liquid out. Now, at the moment, since the liquid ducts have water in them, the crushed ice cannot go inside, but it should be once the water runs out. And the fuel tanks again go in here and change all the dials to the blue color down, meaning pretty much empty the tank or refill the adjacent liquid ducts. So now it looks a lot cleaner, it kind of looks awesome, it has this symmetric look to it. And finally, let's set up the automation of turning those engines on. So all the engines will be connected to gravel pipes. Those kind of dummy pipes which have no use. And every engine will have its own gate. So let's first set up all the engine with the respective gravel pipes. Just like this. And I'm gonna connect all of them also to the same line. So all of them will be connected together. So let's find a nice way to do it. Let's just have this go up here. And this go up here. And this go here. So all the gravel lines are now connected to pretty much the same network. Again, those pipes transfer nothing apart from potentially signals, but at the moment they're all connected to the same thing and connected to the rest of the pipes. And quickly I'm going to head and sleep to get over the night. Okay, so the next step involves getting some of those wires, those pipe wires, all over the place. So what I'm going to need actually both the blue wire and the red wire. I think, yeah, I'm going to need more blue and more red, either way. Let's actually just go ahead and break the current crafting operation and ignore whatever I have left remaining. Yep, just going to break it. And simply break what's ever being crafted at the moment. Simply take everything out, that's fine. And dump the things that I don't need back inside the system. So with the red pipe wire and the blue pipe wire, what's going to happen is the following thing. I'm actually going to need even a little bit more pipe wire. More red and blue I have enough of. Okay, so this is something I've actually mentioned before. The different tiers of logic gates. There are the normal gates, there are the iron gates, there are golden gates, and there are diamond gates. There are also Tarki gates, but there are something else, ignore them at the moment. There are those four different tiers of gates, normal, iron, gold, and diamond. And also there are four different types or four different colors of pipe wires, red, blue, green, and yellow. Now the way it works, iron gates can interface only with red pipe wire, gold can interface with both red and blue, and diamond can interface with the four different colors. And what that means basically, if I would have some of the yellow pipe wire over this line right here, this gate right here, the iron ore gate would not be able to recognize it or do anything with it. It would not be an option. It can interface with the red, because that's the way it works, but it will not be able to interface with the rest of the colors. And why am I saying all of that is because as a result of me using the golden gates instead of diamond gates, there will be a slight limit. I'm going to be slightly limited to what I can do, but it actually won't be that big of a problem. So you don't have to worry about too much. So I'm going to place a gate for every engine. And I've actually said it before that potentially I could try and use less gates, but then I thought it through again. I realized that for whatever I'm trying to achieve, it's not an option. There is no way I could do it without having a gate per engine. So even though it might be wasteful, I like it the way it is, so that's kind of fine. So now there is a gate for every engine. I'm going to take my red pipe wire and connect it to all the different pipes. So every pipe will be connected to the same red wire signal. All of them will be connected together. Now you may have noticed this already. All those pipe wires are kind of awesome the way they kind of render in the world. They always will appear on the same place pretty much on the pipe. So it kind of, I know, personally I really like the fact that the way it renders, it always will be kind of on this side of the pipe. I know, it's kind of unique and nice looking. And every color will appear on different side of the pipe. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, I just like the way it's programmed and designed. Okay, so just making sure this pipe has a red signal, this pipe has a red signal, so is this, and finally this. Okay, so now I have the blue pipe wire. Now the blue pipe wire will operate a little bit differently. And by that what I mean is that every segment, every 8 engines will have their own blue pipe wire. So they're not all going to be connected to each other, but every segment will be connected to each other. Okay, so it's logically different, it's by design logically different, and it's kind of a limit. Ideally, if I could change the time back and make some changes, I'd probably go for diamond gates and use interchanging colors. And what that means pretty much that, for example, this would be yellow pipe wire, this would be green, this would be yellow, this would be green. On purpose, because at the moment any moment you're about to see why. So here is the logic that I'm going to go for. As you can see, every gate has an access to a blue pipe signal and red pipe signal. Now, the red pipe is uniform throughout all the different engines, but the blue pipe wire is unique specifically to each segment. So what I'm going to do is the following thing. Every gate will have the following rule. The first condition I'm going to check is whether or not the engine is red. If the engine is red, emit signal on the blue pipe signal, not the red one is something else. Emit a signal on the blue pipe signal, the blue pipe wire. And since this is an AND gate and not an OR gate, what that means is if I have the same output for 2 different conditions, only if those 2 conditions are true, then the system will work, the condition will work. So here is why I'm using AND gates. So every gate will have the engine red, emit blue. And the second condition is if the red pipe signal is on and the blue pipe signal is off, emit a redstone signal. Okay? And that's pretty much it. So here's pretty much the logic. If there is a red signal, meaning if I need energy, because that's what logically my red signal means, if I need energy, and there is no blue signal, meaning there is no red engine, turn it on. And you can see that right now those 2 conditions are true because it's an AND gate and it goes through. But for example, if instead of checking for a red engine, I'm going to check for a blue engine, you can see that this is now true, this is now false, and there is no redstone signal. So this is just a small example to show you how it works. So I'm going to change it back to red. And there is a short cooldown effect on every engine, eventually it will turn back on. So that's pretty much it. This is the way it works. Now, what it means red engine, if you're not familiar with Buildcraft engines, they all start at the blue state. Blue state means it's the coolest it can be in terms of temperature. It's cool, like it will not about to blow up. It then changes into green, then into orange, and eventually into red. Now, there is actually a corresponding temperature to each one of those colors. On 0, it's of course it's 0 temperature. I think it's about 6,000 to the red color. I'm not sure, but it's some large number. But before exploding, there is this small time frame where the engine turns red. It's not going to explode on the same second it turns red. There is this small time frame when you can actually do something about it. So I'm gonna take that to my advantage, and I'm gonna check for that. So if the engine turns red, pretty much change the blue pipe wire signal to on and turn off the engine. So this is kind of the entire design. Now, why I said I probably use interchangeable colors if I could is because of that rule that I've just made. If only one of those engines goes down, goes into the red, the entire segment gets shut off. as a result, because obviously all the colors are connected to each other. Now there is no way, as far as I know, there is no way separating two same colors on two adjacent pipes. Like I cannot make this blue signal separated from this blue signal. I don't think it's even possible. And this is pretty much the most elegant way I could find to kind of do this. Don't think there is a more elegant way to kind of get to check for those two specific conditions in that specific way to also make it work that way. Okay, and now the boring part, to apply that same condition to every engine. So I'm going to go ahead and do this off screen. Be right back. Okay, so while doing 3 segments, the only one left is the bottom. Actually, some of those engines started heating up, started using all the water in the liquid duct, and you can see that the crushed ice liquid already taking place in that specific liquid duct. You can see that the first one I showed you the example on is already using all that water. It's about to run out. And you can see there is this number, the specific number for every color of heat that kind of correlates to whatever the amount of liquid that it uses and all of that good stuff. Anyway, you can see that this one is about to run out of water. And the moment it's out of water, crushed ice will be able to enter the tank. And I actually want to see it happening in real time. See how it operates. Now obviously at the moment this is the only engine that's actually using water to cool it out. Oh okay, now the other ones are using it well. It should now start filling up. Yeah, there we go. Start filling up with crushed ice. It doesn't cool it any more than water does, but it just lasts a lot longer. So that means if at the moment if previously I was kind of limited by how much one ender tank can actually move, I think crushed ice does a better job than water. However, it does seem kind of junky a little bit. I need to keep a close eye on that. But either way, this is kind of the main reason why I'm using that entire gating system, that if for any reason this accidentally runs out of liquid and gets too hot, this is where this comes into play. If the engine gets into the red state, this turns into the blue signal on, and the engine will simply shut off because there will be no redstone signal. So this is kind of the entire logic here. But it shouldn't happen, but my previous experience with things that shouldn't happen usually do happen. So you never know. Okay, I'll go ahead and finish the actual bottom line as well. Okay, so I finished up the bottom line as well. All of those should be working. For some reason those 3 engines just entered the shutdown period, but they should be working. I don't know what's going on with that, but there you go. Okay, so the entire top segment is at the moment running on crushed ice. This segment still isn't. Oh wait, it actually is as well. Why is this not running? It should be running. Why is it not running? Redstone, this, okay, everything should be fine. Don't know what's up with that, but it should be running. Either way, all of those are running on crushed ice, and yeah, I'm already out of crushed ice. This is what I was worried about. So there are 2 options here. Is this filled up with water? I think it's just a visual bug. Yeah, there is no crushed ice here whatsoever. How actually efficient is it? It does stay longer than water. That's definitely a thing. But how efficient is it? I don't know. So I'm kind of gonna have to rely on trial and error here. But most definitely what I'm going to need to do is increase my crushed ice production. So I did create those bees originally with very high fertility. You can see I already got 6 extra drones. So what I'm going to do is actually take 5 of them and try to extract the glacial genome out. Hopefully I'll be successful pretty fast. Okay, so there you go. While going to sleep, I actually got glacial species serum. That was what I was looking for. And actually I'm extracting already some genomes that actually already had, like the maximum fertility or the both humidity tolerance, which is kind of amusing because, well, I use those in order to inoculate those specific bees, but you know. Okay, so pretty much now it's just a waiting game to wait until all my machines fully charge up the glacial species serum and start charging it up so it can actually be useful. In the meantime, I'm simply going to have to wait and only run on what I have existing at the moment, like the current amount that I have. So I'm pretty much very much reliant on, yeah, you can see it should start happening. Those engines should be they will turn green. Yeah, it definitely lasts longer. This is a fact, yeah. The crushed ice definitely lasts longer. Okay, so I actually want to see it in action. Some engine here I just noticed that was run out of water completely. You can see the heat starting to build up. Yeah, it's already in the orange state. And eventually, when it reaches the red state, you should be able to see my logic gate in action. Now, if I did make a mistake, I'm going to react pretty fast, because I don't know how much time do I have from the moment it turns red into explosion. But I'm going to assume that not too much, so I'm going to keep a very close eye here. See when that finally happens, and when it does, either it's going to stop on its own and it's going to stop the entire segment, because this is simply the way it's designed. And I'm already seeing some fluctuation. Oh, there you go. There's already some fluctuation here. This segment just stopped. So I guess that happened right here, on that segment right here. It ran out of, one of the engines ran out of liquid with the crushed ice and simply turned red. And one of those engines should do it as well any second now. This is already almost on 6,000 degrees. So are those. I think this is the one that is gonna be it. Just I'm not sure about the numbers, so. Okay, I'm gonna cut the video until it happens. And there we go. I think this one just turned red. Yeah, this one pretty much just turned red. It caused this entire segment to kind of fluctuate in between the blue signal and turn off the entire thing. Now, at the moment, none of them is red. As you can clearly see, none of the engines is red, and there is no blue wire signal. But this is kind of me taking the advantage of how exactly engines work, and their mechanic is whenever they're turned off, whenever their redstone signal is cut off, they will not turn on again until they're completely cooled down, until their temperature reaches 0. And this is by design, and I'm simply taking advantage of that fact. In theory, basically, because of the way it works and because of the way I set it up, I could pretty much run the entire thing here without some sort of coolant, either being water or crushed ice or whatever. But I still rather like using it because it simply increases the efficiency a little bit and makes this run for longer periods of time. But yeah, in theory I could actually run it without any coolant at all, just the fuel to generate the Minecraft joules. But this is pretty much at its current state completely self-sufficient. The only thing I consider doing, and I'm about to do, is actually just increase the rate of which I create crushed ice. This is kind of a must. At the moment, it's not even remotely possible to run solely on crushed ice from one glacial bee. It's not creating even close to enough. But that's a whole other story. Pretty much the project is completed. So I've got this system where it's automatically routed into my Planet G6 network, where I can, by demand, automatically create gates. And at the moment, set up are only golden ore gates and iron ore gates. So that's kind of by design. Of course, I can add any gates that I want, at least to some sort of limitation. It will require some modification to the way everything's set up, but it can be done. All the energy is being automatically refilled up and causes those engines to automatically turn on by demand. And the engines themselves know how to control themselves when should they shut down or not shut down, and all of that. And those engines again are being fueled by fuel and crushed ice, which is a part of my previous project, which was the liquid warehouse project. So all of this was one long and large sentence, but it was quite awesome. Okay, so before wrapping up the episode, let's do a couple of small things. The first thing is the glacial species theorem is not fully charged yet. What I actually want to do is the following thing. First, let's empty out, let's sort the inventory here a little bit. What I'm going to do is actually create a new item from Xenos Requiliari, which I haven't used before. It was in the original equivalent exchange, and equivalent exchange 2, I think, as well. But as a result of equivalent exchange 3 kind of taking a different path and still not fully developed, it's a part of Zeno's Requiliary. So what I'm going for is something called, actually forgot the name. Let's try to filter it out. And I keep getting asked, how do I filter out by mods? With NEI, just go to item subsets, mod, look for Zeno's Requiliary, which is what I'm looking for, hold shift and left click. You get this text here and you pretty much filter out everything that this mod adds. Okay, so what I'm looking for is this one, the Coin of Fortune. Draws in nearby items and XP, right click to toggle. So to create it, I'm gonna need 4 Eyes of Ender, 4 golden ingots and a glowing water. So let's get the required materials. So 1 glowing water, 4 ingots, golden ingots, and 4 Eyes of Ender. It's a nice thing that I got all of this automated already through all my previous projects. Okay, and to turn it on and to craft it, simply get this here, and to turn it on, I guess, now it's on, now it's off. Oh, you get this slight glow, you can see on my hotbar it glows when it's turned on, I guess. Okay, so let me show you finally what am I using this for. And actually before doing that, I'm gonna build myself another laser. I lost it while making my gas trap. It's accidentally got destroyed, so I'm gonna head and make a new one because I'm gonna require it. So I'm gonna quickly go ahead and make it off screen. Okay, so I got the laser ready and operated, and also not fully charged, but it can take out energy out of my gravity chest, so that's fine. One more thing which actually should recraft again is the ender pouch, which again I also lost during my gas trap endeavors with all the energy field and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and make it. So to craft it, I actually need leather, blaze powder, and an ender pearl. So blaze powders 4, leather 3. I'm gonna go for white wool. Why is the color? Why is the writing here is kind of grayed out? I don't know. It's very strange. And an ender pearl, just 1. Go ahead and craft it. Again, it's going to be the white pouch or chest, which is equivalent to my collection ender chest. It's kind of strange. The weather is supposed to be raining, but I don't get any raining noise. And there are other noises in the game. I know, something very strange is going on. Either way, it relates to the white chest. And let me exactly show you why am I doing all of this. And this is connected to what I've said previously, originally at the beginning of the episode. I'm going to make my way quickly to the quarry itself. Using the graviton boosts option is a lot faster than using the cart, although a little bit more wasteful. But yeah, it's a lot faster. Okay, so take a look and see why everything is broken. How did it get to that stage? I do not know, but it's here nevertheless. You can see what's going on here. Kind of got to the point where the entire quarry was missing a layer every second time, which caused it to go kind of crazy. You can see what's going on here. And also caused creepers to spawn on my trap, on my quarry. So that's kind of awesome. It's gonna need to be fixed. And the entire thing kind of broken. How it got here, I don't know. I genuinely have no idea. But it did get to that stage nevertheless, and it's gonna require fixing. I'm actually probably gonna go ahead and fix this off screen, and this is why I made my laser. So I can go ahead and do, let's see what, I can go ahead and do this. And the reason I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, I think the coin isn't working exactly the way it should. Or is it? Okay, it is collecting. I don't know. Anyway, my idea here was to keep mining here and use the coin to help me out. I almost made the creeper explode by accident without thinking. But hopefully, doing what I'm doing right now Okay, this is strange. Anyway, this is a process that I'm probably gonna go ahead and do off screen. It's really, really boring, but this is the only way to fix this properly. Simply go ahead and do this manually. So this is the reason why it was broken. I don't know why it was broken, and I'm gonna try and look into it, see what could probably be causing it. But either way, yeah, that's that. Okay, so as I've also kind of said previously, got the entire gate production system fully running. Got automated crafting, automated energy generation, and all that good stuff. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.